Devta defame me behind my back and are my enemy. Devta defame me behind my back and are my enemy. They fled away when called for a confrontation with me. There are ample instances in human history that showcase that apparently stronger entities blame their weaker counterparts for conspiring against them. They threaten the weaker opponent of dire consequences if they do not surrender before their might. Some choose to bow before the strong despite knowing very well that their claims are untrue. This is a method using which so-called strong entities spread their control over the not so strong entities and ensure continuity of their predominance. This is happening at all levels, be it international, national, political, organizational, or institutional. Ravan followed the same tact to dominate those whom he thought to be weaker or equally powerful as he was. He took an overview of his situation to find that he had befriended all the demons and entered into a friendly contract with the monkeys of Kishkinda. Humans were inconsequential to him. The only source of threat for him was the Devta, or the demigods who hailed from Swarglok. He therefore decided that to establish his supreme command over the world, the Devta clan must be defeated. His first step towards his goal was to convince his massive army of demons about the perceived threat from the Devta. Ravan told them that the demigods are conspiring to ensure the downfall of the Asur clan, but were afraid of face-to-face confrontation. Ravan knew that his demons were pleasure seekers, who enjoyed moral or immoral acts of lust without any hindrances. They used humans to satiate their bodily desires, but Devta obstructed to this. Ravan successfully used this cue to manipulate the minds of his fellow demons and made them believe that they were victims of various cunning maneuvers of the Devta and must fight against them to fulfill their body desires without any hindrances. To further strengthen his arguments, Ravan showed a Manushya Devta, a man and god nexus, and convinced his follower that it was the yajna or oblation from the humans that empowered the Devta, who in turn provided the human society the security and satisfaction. It was a give and take relationship. Thus, to overpower the demigods, their source of power must be destroyed, so that they become weak and incompetent to fight or escape. Then the Devta would be forced to surrender before Ravan, who in turn would either pardon or punish them as he likes. Now Ravan's first target was to defeat Indra, the chief of demigods, to devastate the morale of the rest of the Devta clan to fight against him. He sent his mighty and Mayavi warriors, son Meghnad, to accomplish the feat, which he did successfully. Then he ordered his army of demons to spoil the yajna or offerings of the humans, and he led another army to attack the Swarglok. Devta were petrified by the sheer power and valor of Ravan. Most of them chose to elope to a safer zone in the caves of Meru mountain, while some preferred admission of defeat before Ravan. The story so far talks about the trump of evil over truth and virtue. It was the same evil ego motives of the demons that bonded them together and made them work towards the achievement of the corrupt ideas. Their ego compelled them to make a distinction between us and them, with us indicating the demons and them the Devta and all other opponents. It ignited a sense of hatred for the entities belonging to the group them in Asura's minds and encouraged them to disturb the order or dharma and set up a new one where only the demons would rule. However, sinfulness is not limited to any clan or group of entities. In the epic of Ramayan, as there are astute characters like Mantra and imprudent like Kekai among the humans, there are also devout characters like Vibhishan, Mandotri and Trijita in the Asur clan. No group can, therefore, be generalized as totally evil or totally good. Those who are strongly identified with ego crave for control and power, without caring about right and wrong. The ego forces them to create false enemies and encourage them to perform immoral acts so that they have complete control. The control is again an ego-created illusionary idea, which in reality holds no ground. Till there is hatred and conflicts, the evils are able to rule and control to the satisfaction of their ego. This phenomena is evident even today. Influential leaders manipulate collective people ego and so create the us versus them scenarios in the context of caste, language, religion, nationality, skin color, and just anything so as to create drama and hatred in order to ensure their own control. The ego indeed has the competence to bring together those with similar ideology and inspires them to work collectively in pursuance of their heinous objectives. However, the question that creeps into the minds of readers is how the evil Ravan could rout the righteous Devta. We need to understand that not just during the era of Ramayan, even today we witness the over-dominance of negativity over positivity, falsehood over truth, and evil over goodness. The moot point is why evil is so domineering. Where lays its strength over virtue? The answer lies in the fact that to overpower the evil, absoluteness of righteousness in thoughts and action is a must. There cannot be any loose ends. Those who will stand for dharma or righteousness must be beings of pure mind, body and soul. Although the Devta were mostly righteous, they too were not above the nefarious influence of ego and arrogance. Indra, the king of the Devta, was himself a proud person who flaunted his power and used his position to fulfill his personal desires. He indulged in unrighteous deeds like illegitimately engaging himself with Lady Ahalya in the guise of her husband and deceiving her to commit a mistake. Other demigods too had their fair share of misdeeds, which could be termed as misuse of divine power for pleasure purposes. The unrighteousness of demigods weakened their power of goodness. Consequently, since they were not free of sins, Devta could not uphold the dharma and fight for its protection against the Asur. Ravan, on the other hand, stayed true to his purpose and practiced this policy of completeness conscientiously. His strong determination, which although was for evil motives, paved his path to success. Undetermined dharma comes with a risk of depreciation, while adharma associates no chance of being dismissed from its path. One small mistake can make the spiritual aspirant fall from righteousness, and hence it becomes imperative to be very careful in life. While the already fallen one who is ignorant of the truth has no morality to lose. When there is a conflict between the dharma and adharma, adharma seems to have a competitive advantage over dharma because of this incompleteness in the practitioner of dharma. Those standing on behalf of dharma draw their power from their noble deeds, and any digression from this path makes them weaker. Contrarily, those treading the path of adharma gain strength from their misdeed. That is why Asur became more controlling than the Devta. In real life, practicing dharma may seem to be complicated or sometimes impossible due to the negative conditioning of our minds and external influence. On the other hand, wrongdoings come naturally with mind-created justification. If everybody is doing so, I can also do so. Therefore, it may appear that leading a life like Maryada Purushottam Shri Ram is a trying mission. To prove to the ordinary human beings that it is very much possible to conduct life along the path of dharma, God Ram took human avatar. He demonstrated that no matter what, if one decides to lead a life of dignity and honor, nothing in the universe can stop him. Lord Ram is the symbol of completeness in righteousness. Lord Ram encountered all the challenges of his life rightfully and righteously, which elevated him from an ordinary to a supreme figure. He also showed that treading the path of dharma calls for sacrifices and tough decisions against and above one's own will and interest. It takes a lot of courage and emotional robustness to pass through the journey of dharma. What was right at that time is valid today as well. Those who will walk the path of righteousness will face hard challenges and uncalled sacrifices to reach the supreme state of Maryada Purushottam. But along with this, also do remember the promise of Lord Ram. Those who uphold dharma, to them I become the protector and promoter. Jai Shri Ram.